Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to another session of arts and crafts. Today we're going to make our fourth and final card for the being grateful to your parents theme topic. Again, today is a watercolor card, and we'll be making something similar to this. It's very easy, straightforward. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes. And most of the time is just the drying time. What I've done is I've used my base card, which is a regular white cardstock, and on top of that I've used a watercolor card. And the way we're going to use is we're going to have our base card, which we've cut prior to this session. I've done it in the last two videos, and we've cut some white stock card. This white stock is from my watercolor collection. It's actually a watercolor card, so it's more absorbent than a regular cardstock. So we're going to put that aside, and we are going to measure it and see if it is the right size. Now, if your watercolor card is bigger than your cardstock, your base card, then you need to cut it to size, because in the end we're going to be highlighting the borders to give it like just a hint of color to it, but we'll get to that later. First things first, I'm going to cut this to size, and then I'm going to come back. So I've cut my cardstock, my watercolor card, to the right size, and here it is. As you can see, it is fitting in perfectly fine now. So let's begin. Things that you will need. You will need your watercolor cardstock. You'll need a watercolor brush, watercolors, washi tape, Pritt stick or glue, a rag or a kitchen towel, and of course, water. To begin off, to start, first things first, you need to activate your watercolors. The way you do that is you choose what colors you're going to be working with. Now, I'm going to just stick with 4 colors because I don't think this paper is big enough to have a lot of colors on it. So I am going to choose, I think I'm going to go for like some really funky colors. So I'm going to go for a pink, a blue, and yellow. Yeah, maybe purple as well, just in case. I'll activate it and I'll come back to it later. If I don't need it, I don't need it. Now, while the water works as magic on my colors on the palette, I am going to take down the paper. Now, the reason you have to take down the paper is because if you don't, it will warp. What that means is it'll get all bendy and all funny, and you won't be able to make it straight again to stick it on the card. So, just remember, we're not going to use the whole paper. We're just going to use the middle part of it, and we're going to need some white paper on the side. But the reason for doing this is to make it a lot more easier. Washi tapes are better than masking tapes, just in case if you don't have one. They're easily available. I've seen some on Instagram. I've seen quite a few stationers now in Pakistan, mashallah, that provide washi tapes, any watercolor, anything that you need. So, alhamdulillah, it shouldn't be a problem getting your hands on some washi tapes. Otherwise, if you have to use a masking tape, make sure that you take that piece of masking tape, put it on your back of your hand a few times, and then rip it off and then put it back on to get it less tacky, because it tends to stick to the paper, and when you take it off, it just rips. Okay, moving on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our brush, we're going to dip it in water, and we are going to hydrate the paper, as in like put a bit of water, plain water, on the cardstock. Now what that does, it does this amazing effect. When you put the color on it, it'll just spread like nobody's business. So I'm going to start with pink. Pink is like a really shocking fuchsia kind of a pink. And I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just going to take a bit in the middle, and then I'm going to go up a bit, and then I'm going to move on to my next color. Now, because I want all my colors to stand out, I'm using colors from different families. So there's the pinks, the reds, the blues. So the next color going in is the blue. Now, because the paper is wet, you can see how the color is just gliding about, moving, mixing, blending. Where the blue is meeting the pink, it's gone a bit purplish. The next one is definitely going to be, was it pink, blue, and yellow? Yeah, I'm going to go for yellow now. Oops, I think a bit too much water. No worries. Oh my gosh, look at that. That water's going all over the place. And there's your lovely yellow and blue. And wherever the blue and the yellow are meeting, you can see that it's gone all like green. And now for the final one, I think I'm going to use my purple because I've got a bit of space left on the top. And there we go. Now, this looks so pretty. As you can see, the blue is seeping into the pink and the purple is seeping into the yellow. So I'm going to dry it off with a hairdryer, or you can just wait it out and it will dry naturally. It can be air dried. So I'm going to do it with my hairdryer and I'll be back in a minute. So I've dried the card with my hairdryer and now I am back. We're going to be giving the final touches. For that we'll be needing some colored marker, preferably darker color markers. And we're just going to need our paintbrush. And again, we are going to speckle it with different colors to make it look like confetti. So I've already activated the choice of my color. One is going to be red. And I'm going to tap it. I better move my markers out of the way because they're going to get covered. The next one is going to be yellow. Oops, not enough water. Now there is. So I'm going to use my yellow and again I'm going to tap it. And you will see this beautiful speckle on the purple, on the pink, and the blue. Obviously it's not going to show on the yellow because again, yellow and yellow won't show. I wish you could see my desk right now. It is covered with confetti. Well, with color basically. And the final color now is going to be green. I just wanted to see what green would look like on top of other colors. So, one final go. It looks quite nice actually, especially on the darker part. And that's that. So now I'm going to go and clear up the mess and then we're going to do the final part, which is the assembly of the card and putting our sentiments on it. So I'm back. I have dried up my paper, and I don't know where this one came from. So now I'm going to take off the tape. Be very gentle when you take it off, because sometimes these tapes can have serious attitude and they can rip your watercolor paper. But so far so good, alhamdulillah. And there is the base for our final and fourth card of the Gratitude series. We're going to be trying to replicate that, but obviously this is so much more party by confetti and everything. So over here I have my markers. I have a dark pink pen and I've got a silver and a gold. So I'm thinking of writing my sentiments and then I'm going to glue this on the back of the card base. But before I do that, I want to give it like a bit of a border so that it stands out. I was thinking that maybe I would go with a golden, but then the golden doesn't stand on that much. So I'm going to go with a pink. And the way you do that is you take your card and you tilt it at an angle. And then you use your marker, whatever color marker it is. And then you use it to tint the side. Now, it doesn't have to be a perfect tint. It can, some places it's going to show light, some places it's going to show dark. The only point is that it has to have like a color that, so that it kind of like demarcates and you can see that it has a border and it stands out. It's always the little things that make such a huge difference in the completion of a card. Okay, now when we stick it here, you can see it's got a nice little border and it looks quite nice actually. Okay, sentiments time. Again, you can write anything. You don't have to write what I'm writing, but it's more of like a gratitude card, so you can say thank you, I love you, you're the best, whatever makes your day, just write that. So I'm going to just copy what I already did. So it's Mama, and it's a coincidence that it landed on pink for Mama and blue for Papa, but, and then I'm thinking I'm going to write with my golden, I think. Love you to the, and with my silver, moon, love you to the moon, and back. And there we have it. Now, there's more stuff that you can add to it. You can put more colors. I think if you have one of these metallic pens, it would look really nice if you drew like little sparkles here and there, because then it looks really nice and shiny. It doesn't have to be everywhere, but just, you know, use your imagination, use your own creativity, and just, you know, dot them here and there. And I think it will look really nice and sparkly. Let's, if you've got diamantes that have like a sticky back, use that. And finally, we take our card, glue it on the back side. Make sure that the surface is clean, because you don't want all your hard work going down the drain with a mucky stain, or I don't know, stain from the glue or stain from the paint. Hopefully it should blend in if it's just the same paint. But it's always best to check that the surface is dry. Okay, we are going to take our card and we are going to plot it right in the center of the card. Go, flip it on the back side and then massage it so that it covers. This is glue on the back side. There we go. Just use a bit of pressure and a bit of like circular movements, and that should cover it. There we go. And here we have another card for our mom and dad, saying, "Mama and Papa, love you to the moon and back." Now, what I would like to add to it, just an itty bitty thing, is a bit of shadow. So, moon, and back. It's up to you if you want to add the shadow or you don't want to add the shadow. It's perfectly fine. And back. There we go. Yeah, I think it looks good enough. I hope you enjoyed this. Excuse me. I hope you enjoyed making these cards. I hope you have a lovely time making some cards. And if you would like me to share this, your artwork with my Instagram community, I would love to do that. You can tag me on Instagram and I would be so honored to display all the cards that you guys have made. There will be more classes. We're going to do different types of arts and crafts. So do stay tuned, and hopefully next week I shall be posting some more stuff. This time the theme is going to be different, but I'll definitely be uploading more stuff. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.